Hello, Catherine. Okay, so listen, I just want to go over this because I just want to really make this specifically clear to all of the students who didn't submit their work to the critique board by the specified deadline of Friday. And I just want to make sure that you understand the relevance here because posting to the critique board by the specified due date allows myself as well as your peers to comment on the work so that you may apply those comments to your final submission due at the end of the week, right? So if in the case that maybe you forgot a requirement or something, or if somebody brings up something that makes a lot of sense to you that you want to incorporate to the work, you can incorporate for your final submission. So let's say you forgot a requirement, okay? Let's say you forgot to define the target audience completely. And then you submit this to the critique board, and then myself and several of your peers will likely say, hey, listen, you've done a great job, but you forgot to tell us who the target audience is. That way you can reassemble your submission for the final submission, including the target audience, so that you can gather expeditiously adhere to the project requirements. Okay, so that to me is the best formula for success in the class because you get to apply whatever critique comments are made to your final submission for the week, which will garner you the most points. And that's what we're after, right? The most points. So please, moving forward, please understand that the best thing for you to do would be to submit to the critique board by the intended and specified due date. Okay, let's take a look at your work. The first one, the ad for Converse. It says for serious runners. You've got the bride here, and I love this concept. I think it's just fantastic. Just love it. I think it's just boy, really, really clever. But as far as the target audience goes, you're saying this is geared towards young women. We can take that further. We can take that further, and we can, Catherine, we can include young women, young newlywed women who are sports enthusiasts, right? Now we've defined it just a little bit more detailed, and that's the name of the game in defining a target audience, to become as detailed as you possibly can. Let's take a look at A Night at Bethlehem. No target audience here. Oh, wait a second. The church holds an annual. Yeah, there is no target audience here. Oh, wait a second. Geared towards the residents of Wise. Now, that's a pretty broad target audience. And keep in mind, not all of the residents of Wise, Virginia are Christian. And so, I'm sure there's plenty that aren't even religious. So, would they be included in your target audience? Likely not. So again, here's a great example of where you can really, really drill down that target audience to really be to a high degree of detail. Okay, and the relevance here is that once you know the specific details of your target audience, you can hone your message to accommodate that specific target audience. It's imperative in graphic design to really, really define to a very high degree your target audience, because now after you define that target audience, you can determine how to communicate to that target audience, right? And the example I've been using in the discussion board here is that it's obvious that we communicate differently to a group of 7th grade science students than we would communicate to a group of postgraduate science research students. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really, really important to establish that target audience to a high degree of detail. All right. As far as the sketches go, these are great. Now listen, those of you who are listening and following along with this critique, Catherine's sketches here are exactly what we're looking for. Focal point, great spatial relationships, good detail, intent is here. The layout is such that it represents to a high degree what the designer intends the final layout to look like. And perhaps one of the most important things here is the fact that all of the type is rendered out to indicate whether it's a serif or sans serif. This is a great example right here. This is obviously a traditional, actually this looks like more of a modern style Didoni serif typeface. Same here. And the reason I say that is that the difference between the stroke weights in the capital letters and in some of the other letters. And so I'm sure that's the intent there, and then a sans serif here. So that's really, really showing outstanding intent. The sketch, boy, I'll tell you what, Catherine, the sketches are fantastic here. These are as good as you get. I mean, they're just, please keep up the great work in your sketches. These are great. Again, folks, we've got serif here, sans serif here, sans serif here, serif here. To take that a step further, this seems to be a bold sans serif, which is helping with hierarchy, right? So excellent, excellent work. So really fantastic. Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't usually do this, Catherine, but I would love to see you follow this one. I usually leave it up to students. Whatever you feel has the most potential, go ahead and pursue that direction. But this is, boy, this is so concept heavy. I mean, this is really, really a great concept. So, but that said, please do feel free to move forward in the direction that you find has the most potential. And when I say the most potential, I'm also talking about the ability to be able to apply advanced illustrative techniques and things that you've learned during weeks 1 and weeks 2 to the illustrative style of the poster itself. Okay, so really, really good job. And again, it's really, really important to get these in on time so that you can apply those comments to your feedback. In this particular case, I would have liked to have seen you submit to Sundays, the final submission for the week, including a more detailed set of target audience. Okay, all right. Fantastic work. If you have any questions, comments, or if I can clarify anything I've said in this video or clarify anything in the class expectations or specification requirements, etc., please don't hesitate to let me know. I'll be glad to do that. All right. Thank you very much.